Good evening, America. And from all of us at Real America's Voice and Just the News, a Merry Christmas. Yes, this is the Christmas edition of Just the News, No Noise. I'm your host, John Solomon, reporting to you, as always, from Washington, D.C. in the WiredFishCoffee.com studios. As you know, Wired Fish Coffee is the official coffee of Just the News, and you can go right now to the end of the month and get 20% off all of their great products, their coffees, their mugs, their tumblers, and, of course, their Christmas ornaments by just using the promo code JustNews or aim your camera at that QR code. All right, Amanda, we made it to Christmas. I feel like this is a very special Christmas. The country just feels a little bit different, a little more optimistic. Maybe all we've been through the last 4 years has conditioned us to look forward to the future. What do you think?
I think that's probably right. I think you've got your finger on the pulse of this country. It seems like everybody's got a little bit of an extra pep in their step as we look forward to a new administration. And I was chatting with a friend a few weeks ago about what this country is going to look like under President Trump. And she's someone who admittedly does not pay much attention to politics, but she said, all I know is that the last 4 years have been very hard on my wallet. It's been very hard culturally, and I'm just ready for a change. And I think for a lot of people, you know, who have so much going on in their lives, they're raising children, they have families, they're trying to keep up with their jobs and their paychecks. For a lot of folks, that was kind of the sentiment of the election. It was, we need a change. We want to see things looking up, and it seems like most of the country thinks that that's going to happen in just a few weeks now.
Yeah, and change they got with President Trump. Fast change, so much already happening even before he takes the oath of office for his second term. We have a great way to celebrate Christmas tonight. I'm really excited. One of our good friends, John Rich, is going to kick us off in a second. But before we bring him on, let's play you a Christmas song he's put together. It's quickly becoming a classic. He did it with my good friend Mike Rowe. This is Santa's Got a Dirty Job.
Santa Claus got a dirty job. Santa Claus got a dirty job. Santa Claus got a dirty job, and he does it all night long. Well, every year old Santa Claus loads up in his sleigh, and them reindeer running in front of him kick mud up in his face. And those chimneys he goes climbing down ain't exactly all that fun. But if he don't do it, nobody will, so Santa's gonna get the job done. Don't you know that Santa Claus got a dirty job? Santa Claus got a dirty job. Santa Claus got a dirty job, and he does it all night long. In wind and rain and blinding snow, Santa Claus never slows down. He's gotta keep on pushing them reindeer hard if he's gonna hit every town. Sneaking in, sneaking out for 24 hours straight. Gotta outrun them big guard dogs. Gotta do whatever it takes. Don't you know that Santa Claus got a dirty job? Santa Claus got a dirty job. Santa Claus got a dirty job, and he does it all night long. You know, John, I was just thinking, old Santa Claus, he's a big man. He visits over 300 million folks every year. And everywhere he goes, you know what he finds? What? Cookies. And he eats them. He's got it. He's Santa Claus. It'd be rude not to. I'm just saying, you wake up in the middle of the night, you see that big man in your house making a beeline for the bathroom, you best get out of his way, because, you know, Santa Claus got a dirty job. Santa Claus got a dirty job. Santa Claus got a dirty job, and he does it all night long. Santa Claus got a dirty job. Santa Claus got a dirty job. Santa Claus got a dirty job, and he does it all night long. Yes, he does it all night long. He does it all night long. Woo! Merry Christmas, Mike Rowe. Merry Christmas, John Boy.
Man, I love that song. Who knew that Mike Rowe could hold a tune like that? I'm kind of jealous. Joining us now, the man behind that song. He's a music superstar, an incredible entrepreneur, including the founder of Redneck Riviera Whiskey, our good friend, John Rich. John, Merry Christmas. I got to tell you, I love Santa's Got a Dirty Job. What a great song.
You know, people don't realize that Mike Rowe really is a great singer. Before he was famous, back in his original days, Mike actually sang on a local operatic show. He sang baritone opera in Italian and French. He had no idea what he was saying, but he's actually got a really incredible voice. And he and I got to be friends a couple of years ago. And I said, we should write a song and slam dirty jobs and Santa Claus together, because think about it. Santa Claus really does have a dirty job. I mean, can you imagine what's hitting Santa Claus in the face all night long with 12 reindeer flying right in front of him? I mean, think about it, people. That's a dirty job. And the chimney, good Lord, there's nobody ever cleans their chimneys. And Mike just laughed his head off. He goes, yeah, we got to write that. So thanks for playing it.
We love it. We love it.
Yeah, I've seen those horses at Central Park. I imagine with the added velocity that's extremely dirty. John, I want to ask you about the writing process between you two, because he clearly has the vocal chops. When it came to the writing, was it 50-50 or was it more you?
It was more me. I was actually interviewing him on a show that I had, and I said, I need to take a break. I'm going to hit the restroom real quick. And I went in there, and 45 seconds later, I walked out, and I said, I think I just wrote the chorus to Santa Claus Has Got a Dirty Job. And he said, in the bathroom, you just wrote that. I said, as funny as it may sound, a lot of my choruses happen when I walk in the bathroom, man. I don't know what it's all about, but yeah. And he said, okay, how's it go? I said, Santa Claus got a dirty job. Santa Claus got a dirty job. Santa Claus got a dirty job. And he does it all night long. I mean, it's not a lot of words. But he goes, dude, that's perfect. He goes, go back to the bathroom and write the verses and let me know how it turns out.
Listen, it's the man's thinking room. My wife has said that for years. It's where good thoughts have come out a lot of times. There is a moment on Twitter last week, and I was trying to think about how I was going to sum up this year. And I think you said something very profound on Twitter. I think on this Christmas Day, it matters so much. We were through 4 really tough years, but those tough years, I think, woke us to something that we needed to save our country, and that awakening occurred on November 5th. You put that into a much more eloquent tweet on X, but the last 4 years really prepared us maybe for what happens in 2025, no?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about where we're at today, all of us, including me and the two of you, I bet everybody would probably say that 4 years ago, if you compared yourself now to then, you're somewhat of a different person. I mean, you think differently, at least. Yeah. You look at things differently. You know, when you hear the government saying something, you don't just swallow it blindly. When you see propaganda pushed upon you, or you hear a big pitch or a crazy story comes out, we used to always just swallow that hook, line, and sinker. And I think enough of those lies got busted, and we realized the truth to such a massive degree that Americans are pretty skeptical now of things that they hear. And honestly, I think that's a healthy thing. And yes, I do believe that attitude is probably why Donald Trump got back in, because people said, well, hey, Donald Trump maybe isn't perfect, but he tells us the truth. Like, he tells us the good, the bad, the ugly. The guy is telling us what he knows, and we believe him when he's speaking to us, and he's proven himself to be a truth teller. So as bad as these last 4 years were, I think they were really necessary for Americans and for our country to come to a place of clarity in our minds, where whatever happens now going into the future, we'll be looking at it, I think, with a different set of eyes, for sure.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. John, I want to ask you about what's to come for this administration, because it seems like every hour we are all getting emails and news alerts that President Trump has announced another nomination. But I'm noticing a trend, especially with 2 folks who come on this program and who I know are friends of yours, Pete Hegseth and Kash Patel. Very much change makers, very much disruptors. It seems that the 2 of them have had the most pushback. Is that because the swamp is not ready for these change makers to come in?
Oh, they are definitely not ready. They are definitely not. And
Sure.
even a lot of Republicans who are part of that swamp situation aren't really happy about this. But here's what's interesting is seeing President Trump put people in charge of agencies and big situations. And the people he's putting in charge have been highly critical of those agencies. Kash Patel has been no cheerleader for the FBI, quite the opposite. And matter of fact, probably has been someone that they didn't like very much at all. So I think it is a really strong move to put patriots in places to fix things. And what I'm looking forward to, and I think a lot of Americans are looking forward to, is disclosure. Tell us the truth.
Yeah.
What happened in Las Vegas at the big shooting that I personally was at on stage? Tell us what is COVID really? Tell us what's really in the vaccines. Tell us all this stuff. We want to know the truth. And Trump is putting truth tellers in those positions. And that's why you see the swamp freaking out right now, because they know these guys and girls that he's putting in are going to stand up and tell the truth.
We spent 4 years having truth denied, and now we're going to get truth delivered. It's going to be a pretty interesting moment in our history. I think people are looking forward to that. One of the big losers of the election was the legacy media. CNN, I think, just lost a ratings battle to Food Network. I think that's a pretty big moment. I actually get more truth on the Food Network, so I actually understand it. But maybe, is this a recalibration moment for people in my profession, or do you think they're just too far gone?
Oh, well, the latest news I saw, John, you may be behind, and I know that's rare for you. Normally, you're the breaking news guy, but right before I logged on, I saw that CNN is now trailing Gilligan's Island reruns. So the Professor and Marianne, okay, they're not on CNN, so they're going to find them somewhere. It couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of people.
Yeah.
I mean, these people sat on TV and lied to us and lied to us. And fortunately, a lot of us on the conservative side didn't believe them in the first place. But a lot of my friends, especially in the entertainment industry, are liberal-leaning people. They do watch CNN and MSNBC, and they believed all that stuff. I mean, they really did. They believed it. And when it finally came around to where they realized, you mean to tell me they've been lying to me this entire time? It was so shocking to them. They were so upset that how dare they lie to us, like we can't handle the truth. You know, that's how they've responded to me about it. And I said, well, I'm glad you finally woke up to it. I said, it doesn't mean you have to go be a conservative. It just means that you need to have a really skeptical view of anything that the big media people are telling you, because they are telling you what they're paid to tell you, just like a lot of politicians vote on how they're paid to vote. We all know that too. I used to think if you were a Republican, you were by default one of the good guys. You got an R next to your name. I go, I like that guy. I like that lady. And then over the past 4 years, we've seen a lot of Republicans that have proven themselves not to be what they say that they are. And that's also a healthy thing. I think that's one of the greatest things about the conservative side is we will call out our own people on our own side of the aisle when we see them being, distrusted, saying things that are not true or trying to manipulate us. We'll call them out. And, the left says that's not a good thing. Look, we can always beat the Republicans because they're splintered and they get in fights. Yeah, but that's how the country was founded. It was founded with people who disagreed on some pretty big subjects. And at the end of the day, the best idea won. So I think we're in really strong shape right now going into this next year.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah. Before we let you go, and by the way, in CNN's defense, they are up against some of the Christmas baking shows, which everybody loves. So I will just say that's pretty tough competition.
I just want to see Jack Tapper running around saying, "Hey, Skipper." I just want to see that for like a couple minutes. That'd be great for me.
Absolutely. John, before we let you go, with President Trump coming into the Oval Office and what seems like a lot of cultural shifts, I've told John I've heard a lot more Merry Christmases this time around than Happy Holidays. Do you think over the next 4 years, those types of emblematic traditions in this country can come back in style?
I think they already are. Like you just said, I'm hearing the same thing. You can see it on social media. You can even see some of the biggest leftists out there starting to turn and talk like a normal human being again. I'm like, did he just really say that? I mean, that sounded like a regular person talking. I think that maybe the spell has been broken, that the virus has been eliminated to a large degree. I don't know if it seems this way to you, but anybody still talking like that, like the crazy stuff, the crazy left stuff, they sound so ridiculous right now. It's almost shameful how ridiculous they sound, because I think Americans in general have realized just what a line of nonsense they've been fed this whole time.
Amen to that. I totally agree. John, you are such a treasure for this country. Your songs speak to our heart. You make us smile, you make us laugh, and you're a great entrepreneur. You show that entrepreneurial American spirit on this Christmas. A big thank you from me. Merry Christmas to you and your family, my friend.
Merry Christmas and ho, ho, ho.
Oh, what a great guy. All right, folks, we're going to have a couple more special guests ahead for you. Matt and Savannah Shaw, remember the father-daughter duo? Topped the charts a few years ago. They're going to join us. They've been on the Christmas tour. That'll be a fun one right after these messages.
In front of him, kick mud up in his face. And those chimneys he goes climbing down ain't exactly all that fun. But if he don't do it, nobody will. So sad.
Christmas Day is here. The ones I love are near. Gold and silver ribbons, gifts are being given. Sound of children's laughter, garland on the rafter. For all the prayers I've prayed, I'm home on Christmas Day. Somehow I made it again, through all the turns and the bends, like I was led by a star, just to get here where you are. Through the dark nights and the miles, caught in the rush and the noise, followed the light of your smile. I heard the song of your voice. Christmas Day is here. The ones I love are near. Gold and silver ribbons, gifts are being given. Sound of children's laughter, garland on the rafter. For all the prayers I've prayed, I'm home on Christmas Day. Outside the cold world turns, in here a warm fire burns, and outside the snow and the hustle, paper mountains fall down as it rustles. We make a toast, raise a glass, counting up all of our blessings. Another year flies by so fast, and we get a glimpse of heaven. Away in a manger, no crib for his bed. The little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the bright sky looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay.
Just beautiful. That was Matt and Savannah Shaw's newest Christmas single, Christmas Day. And we have both of them, Matt and Savannah, here with us now to talk about it. Welcome to both of you and very Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Thank you. We are so happy to have you. What a wonderful season this is. And I love when it is accompanied by beautiful Christmas music. I love the old stuff, the Christmas staples, but I also love fresh new versions of songs. And I love this one. Tell us about the inspiration behind it, Matt.
Yeah, so when we think about Christmas and what makes Christmas special for us, it is always centered around just being with the people you love and being able to share this time of year with family and being home. Home is a central theme, for that song, and so being able to bring in little Penny Jean at the end of that just is kind of like the icing on the cake, the bow on the present, if you will, and brings it all together. It's a real theme of family.
Yeah, it's such great music, and that look, Savannah, that you give your young sister as she starts to sing is just precious. There's so much talent in your family, and this is coming from a guy that can't hold a note, but it's just amazing to see all the members of your family who can sing. But what's it like to have your little sister on with you?
Oh my gosh, it is so, so special. I have watched Penny Jean grow up. We have a 10-year age gap. And so in a way, I feel like I've kind of, raised her in a way and just watched
Yep.
her grow up. And so being able to share the stage with her is just so special. She's my best little friend. And yeah, it's great. We're so proud of her.
So cool.
I love that. And I also love that the theme of this song is being together with family and loved ones. And obviously you are together and you are with your family for Christmas. But it's been a busy season for you. You've been on tour. Tell us all about the tour.
Yeah, we have so much fun performing live. As you know, our career started just in the pandemic, and you couldn't share live music. And now, being able to sing to an audience and feel of their energy, there's nothing like it. And especially Christmas music. There is nothing like sharing Christmas music live with an audience. So being able to take that music and go see people all across the country has been a
It's
real
been
treat
really
for
special.
us. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's hard to do a Christmas album because so many people before you have come and done these songs. Everybody knows them well. They got their favorite versions. And yet when you came out with your first Christmas album in 2020, I think the New York Times put it on the top 20 best new spins on Christmas songs. How do you go about and take a traditional Christmas song and put your own spin on it?
Oh, it's that you're so right. It's intimidating because these are songs that we grew up with and everyone loves. And so to try and put your own twist on it can be really scary. But, we have a really great team behind us and we like to be involved in the creative process as well. And so I think it's just, I think we try and be really authentic in everything that we do. And we just, with the Christmas music and the arrangements, we just sing what we would want to hear and
What we love.
yeah, what we love. And
It's a little selfish, maybe.
I feel like maybe our passion for the music comes across, and I hope that people can hear that when they listen to it. But I think, that's just how we've kind of gone about it.
Pretty cool. I like it.
I love that. Savannah, I want to ask you, there's been an interesting culture shift, it seems like, especially within the community of believers. I just saw recently that Gwen Stefani, who is a cultural icon, she is now partnering with the Hallow Prayer app, and you've got Mariah Carey out there rebuking the nickname as the Queen of Christmas and saying that Mary, in fact, is the Queen of Christmas. Savannah, to you, does it feel like, especially for your generation, things are shifting more in that direction?
I wonder. I think that's cool. I just love seeing people be authentic and represent things that matter to them. And so I think whatever that means for people, it's really amazing to see. And so I love that.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool moment. Matt, there's so much you guys have accomplished in the first, I guess it's been about almost 5 years now that you guys got started. It started with the prayer and that incredible duet. Now you're on the road. When you're on the road, what are some of the best memories you have when you meet everyday people out on the road? What are some of the things that come to mind?
I love meeting people when we're on the road and just hearing their stories and their experiences. Everybody has an experience with the music that they like to tell us and how the music has impacted them or people important to them in their family. And, when we started, we wanted to make sure that the music was all about sharing hope and spreading joy. That's become our mission statement from the beginning. So when we hear from people that the music has in fact shared a little hope or spread a little joy, it makes the hard work from our part so much more meaningful and deep and rich in the experience for us. And I love hearing those stories as we travel, and that really means a lot to us to hear.
Pretty cool.
Matt, many people out there would advise not mixing family and business. And I think in most instances, that's very good wisdom. But you guys seem to make it work. The family dynamic, what do you do if there is a difference of opinion? Like if you're writing a song and you have differences, how do you sort that out?
Well, that is a really good question. And you're so right. Family business can get a little tricky. But I think Savannah and we've been able to work through like the business relationship in addition to the family relationship. And it was tricky at first, right?
Yeah, I think it's taken a lot of work on both of our parts. I think the thing that makes us work well together is also what maybe makes it hard sometimes. We're just two very different people. And so learning that like different communication styles and how to be respectful of each other and make sure that both of us are getting what we need, it's been a process. Learning how to do that hasn't always been easy, but I feel like, we've been able to practice over the years and we're in a really good spot. And so it's definitely possible to have a healthy business and family relationship.
As long as
at
you
the same
follow
time.
the rule that sometimes I'm right and sometimes you're wrong. Right.
Right.
Said like a real dad. I've not been able to impose that rule in my house yet. I keep trying, but I haven't succeeded at it. So
It doesn't work. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to learn from you, Matt. All of us have fun family traditions. In my family, when I was growing up, we would make Hungarian cookies on the night of Christmas Eve. And my goal was to see if I could get more flour powder on my brother than on the cookies. I usually got in trouble, but it was a blast. But what is your favorite Christmas tradition as you get home and you're home for the holidays now?
Yeah. My whole life we have gone to my grandma's house and we do a little talent show and dinner and pajamas and that is so much fun, just seeing the whole family together and I would say that's probably my favorite Christmas tradition.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah.
We had the talent shows are pretty epic. We have everything from like dance
People do
routines,
skits,
comedy,
will show videos of themselves riding
art.
horses, like all the things that the family is into.
love
It's
it.
fun to see it all represented.
Pretty cool.
I love that. And especially with the musical talents presented in your family, I feel like this is a star-studded affair for sure. Matt and Savannah Shaw, Merry Christmas to both of you and your entire family, and thank you for blessing us with your music.
Yes,
Thank
Merry
you so much.
Christmas.
Merry
Thank you for
Christmas.
having us back on.
A ton of fun.
Absolutely. We love having you here. All right, everybody, we're going to take a quick break, but on the other side, we're going to have much more of this Christmas special. We'll be right back.
Gifts are being given, sound of children's laughter, garland on the rafter, for all the prayers I've prayed.
Just a few days ago, we spoke to Karen Worster, Executive Director at Wreaths Across America. She is on a mission not just to honor our veterans with wreaths on their graves, but also to introduce a new generation to the sacrifices of our war heroes. It's a great interview. Go take a listen.
You probably can see I'm on the convoy on the road. We're literally just stopping for gas, so we can't stop the progress, but I'm excited to be on and talk to you.
We love it.
We are excited to have you on, and we see the fruits of your labor every Christmas across this country. Tell us what the typical schedule is like for those of you who work at Wreaths Across America, because I can imagine that it is hard and very long work.
Yeah, well, and it's all over the country, really. It's right from the people making the wreaths that are working long, hard hours in the cold, and they love every minute of it, to the people that, believe it or not, we have 4,908 locations, and every location has a location coordinator and a sponsor and volunteers who are getting ready for next Saturday, for the 14th. And then the people that put together the convoy and the amazing people that turn out and greet all 200 of us or more that are traveling with the convoy to Arlington. So the wreaths are being sent all over the country. Another great part of the story is that 99% of them are on trucks and trailers that have been donated from big companies to independent operators. It's just a wonderful coming together of everybody. It's fantastic.
It sure is. It reminds us of all the goodness that we still have in this country. Karen, how many wreaths will you actually lay by the 14th?
It's going to be a little over 3 million.
That's amazing.
And that's amazing. That's amazing. We actually added 700 new locations this year. Volunteers are just fantastic. But you know what, for me, and this year as we've been on the convoy, and we left on Sunday on the convoy, and we were traveling down the East Coast. And even with inclement weather, there are thousands of people on the side of the road waving flags. We'll go through a community. They'll bring out every kid in the district, and you'll see 1,000 kids on the side of the road with flags hollering USA, because on that convoy we don't have just wreaths. The real special cargo on that convoy are the veterans and the American Gold Star families. And we have more than 20 Gold Star family members traveling with us, and you can just see their hearts just fill when they go by and see kids. And one time we even went through, the community had taken the time to research every name of every parent's child and had a picture, was standing out on the side of the road. So it's a healing process, but you know, it's been such a hard time for the country to see everybody come together, left, right, and everybody on something we can agree on, which is remember, honor, and teaching about our fallen heroes. It's incredible.
You're doing an amazing thing.
You are, and I imagine the service members, Gold Star families, I imagine they are so appreciative of that this time of year, just a bright spot of happiness in a season that oftentimes can be pretty dismal for Gold Star families. I want to ask you about the cost, because I know that we probably have a lot of audience members out there who say, all right, I want to pay for 10 wreaths, I want to support, 100 wreaths. How do people donate, and what's the approximate cost?
So $17 will sponsor a wreath to be placed by one of our volunteers. And at this point in the season, we still are loading trucks, so you can go to wreathsacrossamerica.org and do the sponsorship. But the $17 does a lot more things. We do a lot more than place wreaths. Our mission is year round. We have a radio station that has 75 veteran-centric podcasts. We work with other VSOs and get the word out there of where our veterans in need and their families can find help. We have our mobile education exhibit, which we work with, for instance, the 50th Vietnam commemorative. We travel all over the country educating. And then we have a teach program that is free. It's downloadable. It's kindergarten through grade 12. It was put together by a Gold Star mom, retired teacher, and the lessons are all based on the characteristics of the United States military. For instance, teaching kids about greater good, responsibility, and the characteristics of the military. So not only do you put a wreath in the hands of a volunteer to place on a grave, but you support those programs, which have been so well received that it actually even surprises us.
That's amazing. Do you have a favorite anecdote? You're out meeting some of the most amazing Americans every day. What's a favorite anecdote you could share with us about what makes this program so special?
There are so many. We call them, we're not a religious organization, but having said that, the Gold Star Mothers call so many things that happen God wings. And just seeing the healing and people coming together and just realizing, I will tell you, it's not an antidote, but I've met a lot of people. We've been doing this for a lot of years, and probably 40 of my good friends now are Gold Star moms who have buried their kids who are the same age as my children. But one of the most important people to me I met was Roger Donlin. He's the first Medal of Honor recipient from the Vietnam War. And when I asked him what the most important thing our mission could do is for the country, I said, what's the most important thing we can do to make a difference? He didn't bat an eye. He said, we need to teach our children to love this country again. And so for me, we do that by making it a personal connection. We have a saying here that a person dies twice. The first time is when their heart stops beating and the life leaves their body. But the final time is when we say their name for the very last time. So when we take children by the hand, and we are anticipating 4 million volunteers Saturday, a third of them will be kids. We take them by the hand and we stand at that grave and we say the names and we lift up names and we make it personal, because the only way that we're ever going to survive as a country is for the next generation to love this country the same way that the generations who've laid down their lives have, and to understand that with freedom comes responsibility. So for me, it's so much more than the laying of wreaths. Every time somebody helps us place a wreath, we have an opportunity to teach a child. It's a gift of remembrance, and the growth that we've seen shows that we're on the right track and people are hungry for that kind of lesson.
What a great patriotic thing you're doing, Karen. God bless you.
Absolutely. Spreading love and patriotism in the Christmas season. It's just wonderful. Karen Worcester, Executive Director of Wreaths Across America, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for what you do.
Wow, what a great interview. Teaching students to love America, maybe because their teachers didn't do that. What a great interview. What a great way to be celebrating on Christmas. We have more for you right after these messages.
Welcome back to this Christmas edition of Just the News, No Noise. Merry Christmas, everybody, and thank you so much for spending it with us tonight. And we wanted to highlight a very special event going on for those affected by Hurricane Helene in western North Carolina, specifically the town of Chimney Rock, which, of course, faced tremendous damage after the hurricane swept through that community. And the residents affected by the storm have not been forgotten by the folks over at City Serve International, which is a collaborative network of churches and community leaders. They are putting on Christmas at Chimney Rock, an event to get residents of Chimney Rock into the Christmas spirit and also get them the help that they so desperately need. The event is scheduled for Saturday, December 14th, and we're actually doing this interview a few days before that. But with the Senior VP of City Serve, Todd Lamphere. Todd, thank you so much for being here with us tonight, and Merry Christmas.
Well, Merry Christmas to you, Amanda, and thank you for having us.
Sir, I think this is such an amazing event. We have seen priority after priority be placed above the American citizens, those who suffered from Hurricane Helene, but you guys have not done that at all. They are your priority. Tell us about this event.
You know, disasters have about an 8-day shelf life, as you know, and once it's out of the news cycle, the rest of the world just sort of goes on. But the people who are affected by these type of disasters just have to wade through it. And when it comes time for Thanksgiving and Christmas, that's really heightened. And their despair, their hurt, and the help needed is really important during this time. And that's why at City Serve, we stay long and we go deep. And we're walking these people through their darkest time, and really just trying to bring some hope and healing during this Christmas season.
So very important. And any tragedy at any time in the calendar is so hard for a family to go through. But Christmas, when you're supposed to be your most joyous, it sometimes lingers even hard when there's tragedy staring you in the face. What are some of the things that folks in Chimney Rock and in the North Carolina area still need? And what could all of us do? All of us in other places of the country that weren't hit by the storm, what can we do to help?
Well, first of all, Chimney Rock has 100% unemployment right now, and quite frankly, those living in the area are faced with the daunting challenge. Do they use what little money they have to rebuild their home, or do they provide Christmas for their families? And oftentimes, Christmas is what gets put aside, and kids are really hurting as a result of that. So what we're doing with City Serve in our collaborative. Compassion Collaborative with 180 Disaster Relief, Paula White Ministries, we can just go on, World Vision. I mean, they've all come together to bring Christmas to the children here in the Lake Lure area. And honestly, I think we can do several things here. First of all is don't forget the people of Chimney Rock. Don't forget the people who have gone through this tragedy. As you're enjoying the time with your family, take a moment and pray for the families here in this Western North Carolina area. In addition to that, come and volunteer. We've had over 1,200 people come and volunteer their time, over 65,000 volunteer hours just in Chimney Rock alone in the last 8 weeks. So come and volunteer. And then third is give. This is the season of giving. Generosity really needs to be a part of our daily lives anyways, but certainly when it comes time for the Christmas season.
Yeah.
Todd, as you and your colleagues descended upon that town and saw such utter damage and devastating damage, what did you find was the greatest need when it came to volunteering and serving? Was it clearing of debris, making repairs? What was the greatest need?
Well, initially it was rescue and recovery. Then from there, it was debris removal. Chimney Rock, for instance, every one of the businesses had a minimum of 3 foot of mud and silt in it. All that had to come out. Then from there, you have mold remediation. Then you've got to rip up all of the woodwork, the flooring, and that's what we're doing here with City Serve in our partners with Spokes of Hopes and others. Is we're rebuilding the business district in Chimney Rock, and so right now we have carpenters there putting in subflooring and walls, and really trying to get the business community up and running by the spring. And that's so important because this Rutherford County area, 60% of their income comes from tourism dollars that come from Chimney Rock in the Lake Lure area.
And with 100% unemployment rate, there's no one that's able to support those businesses right now. There's no money to do that. Is there ways for someone far away from this devastation to buy something from a store? Where do we donate? Give us some ideas, give us some coordinates so people watching today can make a difference and actually send money or buy things and get these businesses back on their feet.
would love for them to go to cityserve.us. They can hit the Hurricane Helene button there, and the money generated from that goes into an account for the folks in the Chimney Rock area. That's probably the best way. If you have a skill set, if you are a carpenter, if you're a plumber, if you're an electrician, that's really where we're at right now in Chimney Rock is the specialized services that are needed in construction.
Yeah.
And that's and we always need bodies just to carry trash. There's just so much damage done. The power of the water coming down off the mountain was the equivalent to 100 Niagara Falls at one time. Just absolutely devastating. 20 trillion gallons of water descended on this area. 31 inches of rain in a matter of hours. So there's so much devastation. So hands on board are needed. Money is needed. What the event we're doing on Saturday is to raise money for the business community so that they can buy inventory, they can restock their shelves, and hopefully be open for business come first of spring.
What a great thing you're doing. Wow.
Todd, at the time of this recording, this event is yet to come in just a few days, but by the time this airs on Christmas, it will have happened already. But I know that the work of CityServe is not going to stop just because the holidays are over. Tell us about what's going to be happening and what you'll be coordinating volunteer-wise after the holidays.
Well, now until we're done with the mission, let's say we stay long and go deep, is we believe that it's important for us to finish the task, for us to get the business community up and running, because that directly impacts and affects the people in Chimney Rock and the whole Lake Lure community in the Rutherford County region. And so they can contact CityServe, again, cityserve.us, and we can direct them to volunteer, to help, to give. Money that comes through goes directly into the people that need it the most here in this area.
Great work you're doing.
I know you and everyone in your organization, you guys are such a blessing to the people there in North Carolina, and we thank you very much, and Merry Christmas to you. Todd Lamphere, Senior VP at CityServe. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Todd.
All right, everybody, we're going to have more for all of you after the break. We'll be right back.
Thank you. No, this is I got the moon.
John, listen.
Light the fire. You place the flowers in the vase that you bought today.
He's so excited. Here you go, Haley.
Happy birthday. Look at the picture of me and you, Daddy. Look at the moon. Daddy, tickle me. I am a robot. What is that?
See ya.
Everything is easy 'cause of
I love you, Papa.
you.
So very sweet. Welcome back, everybody. Did you notice something? That was Apple's latest Christmas ad, and I didn't see any wokeness. All I saw was a focus on the family, and it seems like something has shifted, and it has even gone all the way up to Tim Cook and his marketing team over at Apple. So to what do we attribute this? We've got someone great on to talk about that. He's Sean Carney. He is the president of 40 Days for Life. Sean, thank you so much for being here.
It's good to be back. Thanks for having me.
All right, so John and I have talked about this the last few weeks, especially since the election. It feels like there's a little bit of a shift, whether you're talking about entertainment, whether it's just your day-to-day interactions with neighbors, on the corporate side. It feels like something has shifted. What do you attribute it to?
Well, I think the election confirmed what we know in our hearts the last 4 years, which is we really don't act like this. We're not supposed to walk on eggshells and have diversity or all these different agendas, these woke agendas shoved down our throat. And if we don't comply, we'll be canceled. And the election proved nobody believes any of this garbage. I mean, it was a complete rejection of the wokeness. It has definitely hit its peak and is starting to go down. And when you have companies like Volvo, like Apple with that beautiful ad, it just shows, it speaks to our inner goodness and not trying to divide us and label everybody a bigot or force, inclusivity on everybody, but speaking to our human nature, which is built on love and built on family and built on, moms and dads and children.
Yeah. Sean, there was a big flashpoint, obviously, with Disney, a company that many parents trusted to let their children watch content, and then that blew up. But Bob Iger seems to have dragged that company a little bit back to more where parents are feeling more comfortable. Moana, really big hit this fall. Your thoughts on how much corporate America took note of what parents wanted?
Well, I think what they took note of is when you stand up to the bully, and in Florida it was definitely DeSantis, and we saw other politicians do the same. Trump has certainly done it, where you stand up to this and say, no, it's inappropriate for children, it's garbage, and by the way, this isn't how you started Disney, Apple, Facebook. This isn't what you're for. And I think when you stand up to that and you kind of sober up some of these companies that they've gone insane, they fall in line and they actually respond to the market and they get away from some of this garbage. And I think on the back end, they're probably ignoring the backlash they're getting from some of the aggressive LGBTQ communities that are trying to bully them back into it, and they've ignored them as well, which is a good sign. And so, I think it just comes down to common sense. And again, the election was such a great mandate on a rejection of all this garbage that we are not the division among us. We're much more unified, and we don't want to be told how horrible people we are.
Great point.
I think that there are always 3 C's that businesses need to pay attention to: their customers, common sense, and then the third one that I think applies here is competition. You had the parallel economy building new content, new programming for people who want to have more traditional, less woke garbage for their children and their families to consume. How much do you think the parallel economy applied pressure?
Oh, it's great. And that's the blessing of capitalism and free market. As they said in Wall Street, the movie, greed is great. And these corporations usually survive on greed. But they went to the market. The market rejected a lot of this garbage. We saw the Bro movie last year bomb, and the producers and the director, blamed the moviegoers for the movie bombing. All of this has come full circle. And people just want not just traditional family values. They want biology. They don't want to be nervous when they walk their kid into Target of what they're going to see, and I just think that corporate America is starting to fall in line, and that this has run its course, and it is starting to decline. I do think that the overwhelming embrace of this, doing surgeries on children and transitioning them, nobody's for that. Europe is banning it, and I think we're going to see more of that. And as we get into Christmas, there are less attacks on Christmas. You have people like Mariah Carey, who was named by The Guardian, the Queen of Christmas. And she said, no, that's reserved for the Virgin Mary. And those kind of things are just certainly positive signs that we're getting out of crazy land.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, she shot it down and said, that is certainly not me. It is Mary, the mother of Jesus. And then you got Gwen Stefani partnering with the Hallow app. So many good things that seem like we are moving in a much better direction, not only politically, but culturally in this country. And Sean Carney, I know you've been a huge part of that with your work at 40 Days for Life. We thank you so much for being here, and a very Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much. All right, John, that's going to wrap it for our Christmas episode. We just want to tell you all, in this Christmas season, we are so thankful for all of you. We are thankful for our Real America's Voice family, our Just the News family. I am so thankful for my co-host, John Solomon, and we hope that you all share great times with family over the next